Greetings, Ram fans. Hey, a couple of weeks ago, the great writer for Rams Wire, Cameron DaSilva, had a great article on the 7 Rams that have something to prove here in training camp and this season. And, Cameron's a great writer. It kind of frustrates me, though. I think sometimes we think along with each other. I was thinking about doing something similar. Cameron beat me to it, but I'm going to follow up on his article. I thought it was really good. See if you can find it, some good stuff. Now, what I do when I see articles like that, I see the headline, hey, the 7 Rams that have something to prove. And before I click on it, before I open it, I test myself, see what 7 players I would have identified. And that's what I did. And Cameron and I synced up on 6 out of 7. Some of them were kind of obvious. The first one was Joseph Noteboom, Andrew Whitworth stepping aside. Joseph Noteboom has something to prove. We've seen him play well in spots. We have not seen him lead this offensive line. We have not seen him play 17 games protecting Matthew Stafford's blind side. So he definitely has something to prove. Another one, Tutu Atwell, kind of obvious as well. Tutu Atwell needs to prove he can stay on the field. I mean, that was the big concern coming out of college on him, and it's exactly what happened. He got hurt, out for the year. So we need to see him get hit, get knocked to the ground, and we need to see him bounce back up and return to the huddle over and over and over again. If he can do that, he's going to add something to this offense that we really don't have right now, that wicked speed on the outside. So he's got something to prove. A few other guys that have something to prove. Terrell Burgess, coming back from the injury last year, he was okay. Didn't get on the field as much as we thought. And Rams drafted a bunch of DBs, right? So he's got something to prove. What is his role on this team? Is he on this team at all? I think he will be, but he's got some work cut out for him. Another guy, the other Terrell Lewis, right? He's got something to prove. He was playing well before they brought on Von Miller. Basically got benched. I don't know how else to categorize it. He was benched, didn't play much at all after that. And he has to prove that he can, just like Noteboom, play well in spots, yeah, but you have to prove that he can play all season long opposite of Leonard Floyd. Can he be that number one guy opposite of Floyd on a regular basis? Justin Hollins may fill that role as well, but Terrell Lewis, stay healthy, stay on the field, and produce. Another guy, Taylor Rapp. Taylor Rapp, he has something to prove to his teammates as much as us. He has not been that splash player that I expected him to be. There were signs of it early on in his rookie year. He had an interception called back for a penalty, a pick six called back for a penalty. He's had a couple other big plays, but the biggest thing is, he needs to iron things out with Jalen Ramsey, right? I don't know what's going on there. We can only guess what the entire details were, but Rapp has something to prove to his teammates as well as us, and maybe stay out of physical altercations with teammates. And again, I'm not putting that on Rapp, but needs to clean that up, whatever it takes. And another guy, David Long. Another guy that's stepping into some big shoes. Darius Williams moves on. Now, Long played a lot last year, and he played well. And we're not sure if he's going to be the number 2 guy at this point. They're going to have 3 cornerbacks on the field a lot. Imagine it'll be Long and Troy Hill. Who gets what role? Kind of irrelevant at this point. But Long has to prove that he is a guy that can be a frontline cornerback for a Super Bowl contender, play all season long, and produce. We'll see how that works out, but Long has something to prove for sure. So we've got Terrell Burgess, Terrell Lewis, David Long, Taylor Rapp, Tutu Atwell, and Joseph Noteboom. And who's the 7th? Cameron's 7th guy was Cam Akers, and I can see why Cameron would go with that. I don't think Akers was 100% last year, so he has to prove he's back to that rookie form. He wasn't during the playoffs, in my opinion. Is he that dynamic back, that punishing back, all purpose back that we saw in his rookie year, late in his rookie season? So he's got something to prove that he's 100% back to that form. Rams will be counting on him. He better be. But I disagreed with that. If you're talking about a top seven, I would go with someone else. I would go with Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson was on the verge of being one of the top wide receivers in the league. And then the 2021 season rolled around, and there are rumors that they were phasing him out. He wasn't getting targeted, but that may be the case. His stats were way down last year. 1 TD. He never broke 70 yards in a single game. The most receptions he had in a single game was 4. Numbers way down across the board. Now, was it by design by those offensive coordinators at those coaches running the offense there, or was it something else? But regardless of what it was, Allen Robinson, in my opinion, has something to prove. I think he will, but we can't just write him in for 900, 1,000 yards at this point. He's got something to prove. And I'm going to give an honorable mention, if that makes any sense, an honorable mention of guys that have something to prove. And that would be Logan Bruss. We are so accustomed to the Rams drafting well at that point in the draft, and they seem to be thrilled to have him. But hey, he's going to prove it, right? He's got something to prove. Is he going to be the starting guard? The Rams have him penciled. We all have him penciled in. I think there's going to be a little bit of a competition there, but we need to hope he plays well. With Noteboom and him getting plugged in along that offensive line, both of them need to step up. Both of them have something to prove, in my opinion. So reach out do a search for that article by Cameron DaSilva. Not trying to steal his thunder there. It's very good stuff. Just chiming in on what he wrote. But that's how I see it. We agree on 6 of the 7, Akers and Allen Robinson being the difference. That's all I got to say about that.